today we are going to see about the device settings, autonomous device settings. So again we are going to see what are the settings in the autonomous device. So these are the settings. Actually, user management, user role. It starts with the user management and ends with the system information. So most of the every autonomous device of the ZKTeco product are the same. So first we can go through the user management. So user management will have new user, all users and display style. So first we will register the user. So if you want to create any new user, we need to go through the new user icon settings and you need to give the name. So I will create my name. So ID will be default. This is the first ID. ID 1 is default. So after that you can assign a role to the user. So user role will contains normal user and super admin user. Normal user only he can access the device. He can do the punch in, punch out. So super admin, if he is super admin user, he can access the device settings as well. So I gave super admin role to the user, this user. So in the user register, we can register the palm, fingerprint, face, card number and password. So these many things are available. So we can register palm first. So we need to locate the hand, palm directly inside the box. Only then it will register. So you can see the palm quantity is 1. So fingerprint, if you want to access the fingerprint, I can select the finger. So one fingerprint is done. If you want to add another finger, you can add another finger. So I am using this thumb finger. So 2 fingers has been added. It shows 2 fingerprint quantity. So if you want to register face, also we can register the face. If you want to use password, we can give any password, 1 2 3 4 5 6. And if you want to take user photo, you can take photo. So the camera is not visible. So user photo, same user photo, okay. So card number we can swipe the card. So we take the card number also. So you can see it's 77628815 is the card number. So access control role, next thing is access control role. We can make a group. So this settings I will explain you later while going to the access control options. So once you created user, it will be reflected in all users. So I created only one user. His name is Shyam and he has face, he has the palm, fingerprint, ID card, passwords. And these are display style. So if you want to use single line, multiple line, so according to your convenience, you can use the style of the display style. So next we can go to the user role. User role is like same what we given the user role for the user, like admin role and normal super admin role or normal user role. So if you rather than that, if you want to add some other roles, like if a person want to access only the communication settings or some other settings, you can make a separate role for him. So I can make example, I will create one role. for IT team. So you can see user role. So it will be as user defined role 1, 2, 3. So I will create one role here. So you need to name the role. So I will create like IT. For example, I will create IT. So IT. So after creating IT, you need to define a role to the IT team. So you need to click on the define IT role. So it will be normally all will be selected. So you need to unselect the menus from this. So what menus they can access, only that you need to tick it. So I will give role access role for him like communication and system information. So only they can access these two menus in the device, communication and system information. Once created, you need to enable this toggle button. So enable define role is on. Right now it's on. So once you created, we can create another user like for IT team. So I will create test IT team. Okay, I created test IT, and you can go user role. You can click user role. So I created IT role. So before only normal user and super admin user was visible. So I created another user role. So IT as IT. So now IT role is visible. So I just click on IT role, and I gave him a IT role right now. So now we can give only a card access to him. So card number, I will swipe this card. So this card has been read. So 6929547 is this IT person's ID. So once you're done, we can check it. We can visit the menus. Now if we swipe, it should show only communication and system information settings.
Thank you.
So so to enter into menu, we need to press this icon. So now see, you can, after swiping IT team badge, only COM settings and system information settings are visible. So he can access communication settings and system information settings. Okay. So now we can move on to next other settings.
Please try again.
So now COM settings. COM settings will have Ethernet, PC connection, cloud server settings we can set up. So Ethernet settings mostly for setting the IP for the device. So default IP of ZKTeco product is 192.168.1.201, but already I have changed the IP as 170. So this device works on 170 right now. And subnet mask, as per your network, you can give your subnet mask and gateway. So if you want to give the DNS also, you can give. So TCP COM port is default 4370, you don't want to change it. So if you want to use it as DHCP, you can, if you enable it, you can use only DHCP IP. So mostly you can use static IP, it is easy to find the IP. So you can set the IP and you can easy to find the IP of the device. So PC connection is mostly used when you connect the device directly to the PC. So we are not connecting directly to the PC. So we are not going to use any PC connection settings over here right now. So server settings. So this cloud server settings is nothing but the address of the by time which is installed in the PC. So in my laptop, if the IP is 169.254.198.1.3, 193, we need to mention the same server address of my laptop, because the byte time will take the address of the server, and server port is 80. So by time when I install the by time I gave the port as HTTP 80. So I need to mention the same port. So it communicates with the port 80. So I gave this server address and server port of my PC. And here you can see enable domain name. So domain name means it's like a domain name is like www dot some IP. It's called domain name. So if it is coming with the URL, it is called as domain name. So it will be used as a public domain, even from wherever. If domain name can be used from, even you can access from any other countries with the internet through the internet access. So if you are in some other countries and you want to use your domain name, if you have a domain address or public address, you can just mention in this, you just enable this domain name and you need to mention the domain address. So server address, we need to mention the domain address over here. So you can just add the device on the domain server. So your device can be anywhere, and your main server is in some other country, you can add the device with the domain server. And also same, if you have the proxy server, you can enable the proxy server and you can provide the proxy server IP and the server port to communicate with the device. So vegan setup. Now next thing is vegan setup. Vegan setup is like we have vegan output and card format detect automatically. So vegan output is like vegan reader, vegan card will have like formats 26, 34, 36, 37, 50. So right now we are using vegan 26 reader, so other thing is not used. So vegan output bits is 26 or same thing pulse with interval of the card. Everything you have mentioned in the vegan options. So if you want to detect the card, you can just swipe the card. It will show the card number and what vegan the card is used. So in vegan 26, in vegan 26A. So you can see this it can detect the card automatically, and it also show what vegan card we are using. So this the end of com settings. So next we can go to the system. System is same like mobile application, what we use, date and time, attendance, things, space, fingerprint. So if you want to mention the date and time things, you can change here. Same like attendance. If you want to use the attendance settings, you can check over the attendance settings. Here you can see duplicate punch period. So duplicate punch period you can also use user define like 10 seconds. So here I gave like duplicate punches 1. So after one time, if you are doing again the punch, it will reflect as duplicate punch. So if you do the punch once, so let me show you. So if you do the punch and you got access to the door, and again if you do the punch,
duplicated punch.
It will tell you as the duplicate punch. So only once you can do the duplicate. So next is face. So in attendance, duplicate punch is finished. Camera mode, if you want to change any camera settings, you can change over here, like take photo, no save, take photo and save and successfully, save and failed irrigation. So I mentioned no photo to be saved. Display user photo, if you enable display user photo. Whenever some user punch in, their photo will be displayed on the display. So same thing, alphanumeric ID. So ID, if you disable the toggle button, so ID won't be reflected in the display. So this autonomous log alert. So if periodic deletion of autonomous data, if you want to enable, you can enable, or if you can disable. So next thing is personalization settings. So personalize as user interface, voice, bell schedule, punch state options, shortcut key mappings. So first you can check on user interface. So if you have wallpaper, you can upload over here. So only 2 wallpapers are there. So language, if you come to the language, there is 2 languages, English and French. So right now we are using French. If you want to change to French language, you can also change. So you can see. So there is a power key. If you want to lock power key, if you enable, you can just pressing the key, you can lock. So menu screen out. So if it is given here selected as 60 seconds. So after 60 seconds, the display screen will get off. So this is for ideal time to slideshow. So slideshow, like that display profile picture will change after every 60 seconds. So slideshow interval is like after 30 seconds it will it went outside. Take user interface again. So in the user interface, there is user interface option. So in the personalize settings, there are user interface option. So in the user interface, you can see wallpaper language, lock power key, menu screen timeout, slideshows. These are the basic settings that you can go through this. Not required to explain it detailing. On the voice, what voices we have: voice prompt, touch prompt, volume button. If you want to increase the volume, we can increase. So autonomous device also has the bell schedule. If you want to create a new schedule, you need to enable the bell status, bell timing. If you want to enable the bell timing, you can enable any timing over here. And by the time there will be a schedule, there will be alarm will be happening. So even I can create a bell schedule. Bell schedule, you can enable it. Bell time, so 17. So 17:7, the alarm must go on. You can see 17:7, the alarm turns on for 5 seconds. So 17:7, the bell schedule is made as 17:7. So punch state option. So punch state option is nothing but if you want to do check-in, check-out, break-in, break-out option by pressing the settings, this is called punch state option. So if the client use only one device for a door and every user need to go and out, come by in and need to go out, they need to know why they are going and coming inside back. So these settings are useful for finding out the state of the punch. So punch state option, if you want to enable it, you can give there is a lot of option: auto mode, manual mode. So auto mode, manual and auto mode, manual, fixed mode. So first we can check auto mode. So if I enable auto mode, whenever I give the punch,
Thank you.
it directly opens. There is nothing, it will ask for nothing like check in, check out, break in, break out, nothing will show. But if we go for the manual mode, right now the punch state is manual mode. So if you go out and do the punch,
Duplicated punch. Thank you. Duplicated punch. Thank you. Duplicated punch. Thank you.
so after doing the manual mode, you need to enable the punch state required on. So once done, it will ask for check-in, check-out, check-in, check-out, break-in, break-out. So I give check-in. I will use check-in.
Duplicated punch. Thank you.
So it will assess as check-in. So there are so many types like mixed fixed mode, manual and auto mode, fixed mode. So fixed mode, we can define what mode need to be fixed. So only if I want to use only check-in, I can now I select only check-in. So whenever I do the punch in the device, it will ask only for the check-in.
Duplicated punch. Thank you.
It will take only check-in. So in the display you can see. In the display you can see it shows only check-in. So if I make checkout as defined as checkout, it will show only checkout. So it shows only checkout now in the display. So I will make it as auto mode again. Okay. So short key mapping. Short key mapping, it will show we can mention the number over here like punch state value 0, name, check-in. So I can give like 7. So checkout I can give 8. So these are just values. So we don't have the keypad right now. In this uFace800 Plus there is no keypad is available. So we are not using this option, short key mapping. But if like iClock devices, we can use this short key mapping. Like pressing one button, it will go to the check-in. Plus pressing button 2, it goes to the checkout. So pressing button number 3, it goes to the breakout. So we can use the key mapping over here. So now uFace doesn't have the key things, so we are not using this shortcut key mapping over this device. So next we are moving to data management. Data management has every data backups in it. So if you want to delete the data, we can delete over using the delete data option. So you can delete only attendance data, you can delete only photos, you can delete only block list photos, you can delete all data. If you delete all data, it will delete everything, every data in the device. So if you want to delete only the role option, like super admin role, only you need to delete the only role of the super admin, you can delete it. So delete access control. If there is access control settings are there. So if you want to delete the access control settings, you can delete the access control one by one. So next is backup data. So here you can see you can take the backup using the USB disk. So like clicking the backup data, backup to USB, it will ask for USB to insert. So right now I don't use USB, so it has error failed to read the USB. So if you insert the USB, it will automatically move the data to the USB. So this is the place where USB can be installed. So restore data, same. If you need to insert the USB over your left side, USB stick will be inserted over here, and if you restore the USB data, if data is contained in the USB, it will move to the device automatically. So now we will go to the access control settings. Now USB manager, it has download option, upload option, download options. So if you want to download attendance data, you can just same thing. If you need to insert the USB, and if you want attendance data, you can take the only attendance data. If you want the user data, you can take user data. So same thing. What are the data you want? You can select the, like if you want to need to take only block list photos, you just click on block list and insert the USB. You can take the data of the photos. And also same, if you want to upload some wallpaper, screensaver or portrait in the device, you need to insert the USB and you need to click on this wallpaper and you can upload the wallpaper over here. So here download options. So if you want to encrypt data, you can on enabling it on, you can get encrypted attendance data. So same thing, delete attendance data. If you on it, you will delete the attendance data. So attendance search. Here we can search the attendance data over here. It's like, so we can see attendance record, attendance photo, block list, attendance photo. So first we can go through the attendance record. So attendance record, please, you need to enter the user ID. So my user ID is 1. So just enter 1 and give OK. It will ask which data you require. So I will ask for today's data, and it shows the date, time, number of records I done 2 punch in. So 17/8, 17/1. So user ID 1 has 2 data punch ins over here. So same, like if you have user ID 2 for today, it has 1 punch in, like 440. So attendance photo, if you want to see the attendance photo for today, no attendance photos. So because I didn't take any attendance photos right now. So this is only for searching the attendance records. Short message. Next setting is short message. If you want to set any message in the device, we can input over here, so it will display on the screen. So first I will make a new message. So message, I will enter hello. So it asks for the start date and start time. So start date, now it will take, I can take by 28/3 today, and start time by 17/17. So recent time is 17/17, 18, and expiry time is 60 minutes. After 1 hour the message disappears. Message type I can use like public, personal, draft. So I can send one message, hello, public message. I selected a public message. If you go outside and see, the public message will be displayed, hello, you can see. So same for private, we are also can do the private message. So you can go to the short message and you can mention hi. And message type you need to do personal message. First we mentioned public message. Public message it will visible to all. So personal message it will visible only for the selected user ID. So if you select the personal, it asks you to select the user ID. So you need to select the reception. So I will select one Shyam, user ID 1. So when I do the access, the message need to be displayed. So I will do the access.
Thank you.
So the message also got displayed, hi. This is private message for a user. So these are the message options over here. So draft message it will be in the drafts, so they can, if you save it as a draft, you can see the message over the draft messages. So if you want to make the delay message show delay, you can enter the 10 seconds, 5 seconds. So after 5 seconds the message disappears, then after 5 seconds it comes back. So next option is workcode. So workcode is like when you do the punch, if it should show, if they should know what workcode the employee uses. Like if IT person comes and do the punch, they need to know what work he is going to do. So for if IT person comes, he can mention as IT, workcode as IT. If a sales person comes, we can mention here sales, and when he do the punch, he can select the salesperson and he can do the punching. So let me show how to do the workcode option. So you need to create first new workcode, ID as default one, name I will create IT. I will create another workcode as sales. So I created 2. So all workcodes, if you click on all workcodes, whatever the workcode I created is show. So I created IT and salesman. So you need to enable the workcode option. So workcode required on. Workcode must define, you need to enable it on. So when you punch now, it will ask for the workcode. So right now I will punch, it asks for the workcode, IT or salesman. I need to select IT or salesman. So I will salesman.
Duplicated punch. Thank you.
So if IT guy will just come and access the device, he can view his workcode as IT.
Thank you.
This is what the workcode options is useful for. Next is auto test. So we need to check the device working condition. So here we can use the auto test to test everything. So if you go to the auto test, it will have test all, test LCD, voice, keypad, fingerprint sensor, test face, camera, everything we can test it. So here test all, it will click, it will show the display's colorings. You need to press continue, touch the screen to continue.
Thank you.
So next it goes to the voice.
Incorrect password. Access denied. Invalid ID. Please try again.
So all the voice prompt it shows, we can hear it.
Duplicate ID. Space for records is full. Duplicate finger. Duplicated punch. Thank you.
So this is for keypad. We don't have keypad in the uFace, only the on off button, lock button over here. So just you need to press the power key, so it works. So next test fingerprint sensor. So it should read your fingerprint veins. So it's work properly. If it is widescreen, then there is issue with your fingerprint sensor. So test face. Here you can test the face. This both should be identically same. So if the camera position must be same, your face, both cameras should be same. So if you want to test the camera options, camera working condition, we need to do the test face option here. This test clock RTC, you need to run 3 times, like in a 10 seconds you need to do 3 times, you need to run the RTC. So like you need to touch the screen to continue. So once, 2, 3. So 3 times we need to run the RTC and we need to do the test face verification. So once you run the RTC, you need to come to the test face and the camera position must be same. So if the position is same, then there is no issue with the camera angles or nothing. So if there is some sort of changes you are facing in the both cameras, then you need to contact the technical support for the help. This mostly you can do the test by yourself and identify the issue if you have any issue with the fingerprint or camera or keypad or something. Next option is system information. System information will have the user quantity, admin users, passwords, how many password I am using in the device, admin user, how many admin users we are using. So how many users, around 10,000 users we can create. I created only 2 users. Fingerprint I can create 4,000 fingerprints. Face 3,000 faces I can create. Palm 3,000 palms I can create. So block list photo, 500 photos it can save. User photo you can save 1,000 photos. So palm 3,000. So it has every options capacity of the device. So device information, it will have the device name and the serial number, MAC address, algorithm of the face, palm, finger, other things. Firmware information, it will have the push firmware services, BIOS services, every firmware information you can identify from here. So whenever a technical person asks for the serial number and firmware version, you can just share you can take the photo and you can share this image of this settings so they can easy to troubleshoot the device. So these are the options. Now I will go for the access control options in the device. So now we can check the access control options. So in the access control options, the default access group the users will be having is access group 1. It will be default for every users. Until we create new access group, there will be no access group will be reflected in the users access control role. So user access control role, it will have only one group, access group 1. So we need to, if we can create multiple access groups, like going to the access control role, access control, you can go to the time schedule. So today is a Tuesday, you can set any time period, like, so now the time is 17:34. So I will create like 17:37. So the access work for the group only after 5:37. Until then, for the user, the access doesn't work. So you can see 17:37 to 23:59. So user can do the access and he can enter the ODC or office or room only after 17:37. So the both user has the access control role as group 1. So I showed already. So if I am trying to access the door, it shows invalid time period. So invalid time period. So on the second user ID 2 with the IT role, if he access, it also shows invalid time period. So they can't enter until 17:37. So only after 17:37 they can enter the ODC or office. Until then it won't allow you to enter. And also we can group multiple groups, like you can go to the time schedule. So time schedule has 01/50. So if you want to do second schedule, you just enter 2 over here and OK. It will take you to another new schedule. So here you can make, like, you can schedule your time, like Tuesday I can mention 17:40. I can mention 17:42. So 5:42. After 5:42, it allows the user to access the device and he can enter the office. Okay. So now time schedule 2/50. I created 2/50, and you can go back and you can create new group. Go to access group. So if you go to all group, it has only one group, which is default group. It will be automatically, it's a default settings. So if you want to create a second group, you need to go here, click on new group. So if you click on new group, it will automatically shows number 2 and the time period. You should mention 2 because the time schedule I entered is 2/50, right? So we need to enter time schedule as 2. Once done, you can come back, and if you click on all group, you can see 01, 02. This 02 is the second group I created. So we can assign this group to any user. So you can go to the all user, you can see 2 users are there. So this first user ID will have group 1. So group 1 and second user ID, we can change the group access control role. So go to edit, you can go down access control role, you can create access group 2 because I created new group access group 2. So it takes, so if you mention 3, it says no enroll data because I never created access group 3. I created only 2. So right now we have only access group 1 and 2. So I created 2. I can give the number 2 over here. we give the number 2, it shows. So once done, we can select verification mode, which verification mode they can use. So I use password, fingerprint, card, face, palm. So I can select this, so he can access anything. So once done, you can go back. And you can see the time schedule 1. So group 1, time schedule 1 is a time period 1. The time period 1 has timing like 17:37. So from 5:37, after 5:37 he can access the device. It will allow him to access, enter the office. And time schedule 2 is it allow the user to access the device, and he can go only after 17:42. So we have two groups, two user ID with separate groups. So now we can test. So user ID 1 with the group 1, he can access the device and he can enter.
Thank you.
He can enter the office. So group 1, he has the access to enter now. So now we can, with the IT team card, we can try to enter. Let's see what's happened.
Invalid time period.
So it shows invalid time period. It means as the time we set is 17:42. After 17:42 only he can access the device, and he can move on to inside the ODC or office or room something. So until then he can't access, because he has the group 2 access control role. So user ID 1 will have the access control group 1 role. So he can access the device, he can enter it.
Duplicated punch. Thank you.
So these are the main thing in the time schedule and access group. I showed how to create, and it also has the holiday option. So if you want to add a holiday like public holiday, and you need to start date, if you mention start date, end date and time period over here, then on the public holiday no one can able to access. If the holiday is scheduled on the access control role, no one can enter the office by the time of holiday. The device doesn't allow anyone to enter. So it shows invalid time period. So next thing is combined verification. So let's wait for 5:41. So after 5:41, the user ID 2 can enter the office. As per the time schedule, we can check this last. So now time is 5:42. So if I do the access for the IT user ID 2, he can enter the ODC.
Invalid combination. Invalid combination.
So now we can see there is some other error like invalid combination. So whenever you create a group, you need to make combination settings to access. Otherwise it doesn't work. So go to access control role, and you need to enable the enter the combined verification, and you need to enter here. You need to enter 2. So I created group 2, right? So I need to enter the group 2 over here. So this is for group 1, this is for group 2. So if I do the access, it should validate. So when I do access, we can enter the ODC. So combined verification works by this way. Whenever you create any group 2, 3, 4 we need to enter here, like we need to create here also combined verification like group 3 for 3, 4, 5. So totally 5, 6, 10 combined verification we can create. And also we can make this as 0. So multiple combined verification, like from 2 people's verification the door opens. This technique also we can use, like we can enter here like 2. So this asks for the second verification.
Thank you.
So if you enable the combined verification, so combined verification I have set it as 1 for user group 1, user group 2. So after group 1 verification, someone from group 2 they need to verify, only then the door opens. That's how I set it right now. So group 1 user ID 1 you can punch now. Okay, and it asks for multiple user verification. I need to punch user ID 2. Only then the door gets open.
Duplicated punch. Thank you. Duplicated punch.
So it shows duplicate punch. If there is no duplicate punch, the door gets open. So now I will show access control options in the access control menu. So you go to the access control menu, you can see access control option. Here you can see door lock delay, door sensor type, and much other thing options like door alarm delay, retake time to alarm. So here you can see door lock delay. So door lock delay indicates the door open time. So when you do the punch, after only 10 seconds the door can be opened. So after 10 seconds it must close, it will get closed. So door sensor delay, I mentioned 10 seconds. So if the door is held open for more than 10 seconds, the sensor will activate the alarm to go on. So until the sensor is closed, the alarm goes on. So door sensor type I mentioned as normal closed, because we are using normally closed lock. So I selected normally closed. So door alarm delay is I mentioned as 4 seconds, and retake time to alarm I mentioned 3 seconds. So after 3 seconds it will again activates the alarm if the sensor is not closed. So we can test this option with the lock and sensor. So I will show the access control device connection, attendance device connection. So you can see the device sensor and ground will be connected to the door sensor directly. So this is sensor cable, this is ground cable from the device connected to the door sensor, and the door sensor is kept closed. And NC common, so device will have NC1 common one. So here the blue cable is NC and blue white cable is COM. So NC will be directly connected to the lock 12 volt over here, and the common COM will be connected to the 12 volt of the device. So this over here, this cable over here, it is the 12 volt ground of the device supply, it is looped with the lock. So you can see the 12 volt COM is looped, and also the ground of the lock with the ground of the device is looped. So I will share the circuit diagram of the device as well, and also the photo of the connection. You can go through that once. So let's test the working condition. So when we swipe the access, so now the lock opens and the sensor also get kept open. So lock must be closed after 10 seconds, and sensor also need to be closed after 10 seconds. So I think you can hear the buzzer sound. So the sensor is not closed, so the alarm gets kept on rings. So when the sensor closes, the alarm goes off. You can see the alarm goes off now. So this is the working condition of the access control option with the sensor.